The courtroom is silent. A woman stands trembling before the bench, clutching a crumpled ticket in her shaking hands. Her eyes are swollen, her voice barely a whisper. And then, Judge Frank Caprio leans forward, his expression soft but serious. "Ma'am," he says quietly, "are you okay?" She nods, but the tears betray her. The room feels heavy, like everyone's holding their breath. Then, the truth spills out. Her husband passed away 2 weeks ago. And the ticket she's here for? It happened the morning she was rushing to the hospital for the last time. Friends, what would you do if justice and heartbreak collided right in front of you? Would you stick to the law or listen to your heart? This is the moment millions watched and couldn't forget. The moment a simple parking ticket became a story about humanity, grief, and grace. Because in this courtroom, justice doesn't just wear a robe, it has a heart that listens. But before you see what Judge Caprio decides, ask yourself, how much pain can a single person carry before someone finally shows them mercy? Today, we step inside a courtroom unlike any other, not one ruled by anger or punishment, but by empathy and understanding, where every case, no matter how small, reveals the battles people fight behind closed doors. This isn't just law. It's life. It's love. It's loss. And as we uncover Judge Caprio's most emotional moments, the ones that made the world cry, you'll realize something powerful. Sometimes the smallest acts of compassion can change a person's world forever. Stay with me, because what happens next will remind you that even in a courtroom, humanity can still win. Before we dive deeper into these unforgettable moments, let's step back and ask, who is the man behind the bench? Who is this judge who's made the world cry, smile, and believe in kindness again? His name is Judge Frank Caprio, and his courtroom isn't like any you've ever seen. It's not filled with shouting lawyers or cold verdicts. Instead, it's a small, modest room in Providence, Rhode Island, where ordinary people face extraordinary compassion. This is the world of Caught in Providence, a show that quietly began as a local broadcast and ended up touching millions of hearts around the globe. Judge Caprio was born to Italian immigrant parents in a working-class neighborhood. His father was a milkman who delivered bottles before sunrise, and his mother a homemaker who taught him that true strength lies in gentleness. Those lessons shaped the man he would become, a judge who looks beyond the ticket, beyond the mistake, and straight into the story of the person standing before him. In his courtroom, every case matters because every life matters. He listens, he laughs, sometimes he cries, and through it all, he reminds everyone watching that justice doesn't have to be cold to be fair. But what makes his courtroom so powerful isn't just his decisions, it's the humanity behind them. When people come before him, often nervous, ashamed, or defeated, they're met with warmth instead of judgment. And maybe that's why millions tune in, not just to see the verdicts, but to see hope in action. To see a man who believes that mercy can be stronger than punishment, and that one kind decision can echo far beyond the walls of a courtroom. This isn't just a judge. This is a teacher of humanity. And as you'll soon see, every story that unfolded before him revealed not just the law, but the beating heart of compassion itself. She walks into the courtroom with the weight of the world on her shoulders. Her hair is tied back loosely, her clothes plain but neat, her eyes tired, too tired for someone her age. The bailiff calls her name, and she takes a shaky step forward. Her voice is small, almost fading. "Good morning, Your Honor." Caprio looks up with his usual warmth. "Good morning, ma'am. How are you today?" A nervous smile flickers, but it doesn't last. "I've been better," she says softly. The audience can already sense something's wrong. In her hand, she clutches a stack of envelopes, parking tickets, late fees, fines that have grown heavier with time. Caprio glances at the papers before him. "It looks like you have a few violations here. Failure to pay parking fines, expired registration, and a red light violation. Tell me what happened." There's a long pause. She stares down to the floor, gripping the edge of the podium. "I lost my job a few months ago. I was working at a grocery store. They let a bunch of us go. I tried to keep up with everything, but my daughter got sick. She's been in the hospital for the last 6 weeks." The room falls silent. Caprio's expression changes instantly. Soft, attentive, concerned. "How old is your daughter?" 8, she whispers. "She has leukemia. I've been spending every day with her. I missed work interviews, missed court dates. I couldn't leave her alone." For a moment, Judge Caprio doesn't speak. His eyes lower. The courtroom is still. No gavel, no formality. Just a man listening to a mother who's breaking apart in front of him. "Ma'am," he says after a pause, "you don't have to apologize for being a mother." Her tears spill freely now. "I'm trying. I really am. I'll pay it somehow. I just need more time." Friends, this is the kind of moment that stops you cold. Because it's not about a ticket. It's about survival. About the impossible choices people make when life gives them no mercy. Judge Caprio leans back, thoughtful. "Do you have any support?" he asks. "Anyone helping you?" She shakes her head. "It's just me and her. My mom helps with meals sometimes, but she's old. I'm behind on rent, too. I didn't even want to come here, but the notice said they might suspend my license." Caprio takes a deep breath. "You know, sometimes people come in here angry, making excuses," he says quietly. "But you're not one of them. You're fighting battles most people can't see. And I want you to know, I hear you." He studies her file for a long moment. Then, in that calm, deliberate voice, he says, "Here's what we're going to do." The room tenses. You can feel the suspense. What will he decide? He looks up, meeting her eyes. "We're going to dismiss every fine related to your circumstances. You don't know the city a cent." Her jaw drops. She covers her mouth, shaking. "Oh my God. Really?" Caprio smiles softly. "Yes, ma'am. Right now, your only job is to take care of your daughter. That's the most important duty in the world." A murmur of emotion ripples through the courtroom. Even the bailiff looks moved. The woman breaks down completely, her tears now those of relief. "Thank you. You don't know what this means." Caprio leans forward one last time. "Ma'am, when your daughter gets better, and she will get better, tell her that a lot of people are rooting for her, including an old judge in Providence." The audience applauds softly. It's more than a ruling. It's a lifeline. Because in that moment, the law didn't just see a name on paper. It saw a mother's heart, a child's struggle, and a reminder that sometimes the fairest thing we can do is forgive. The camera pans across the familiar wooden courtroom, warm light spilling across the judge's bench. Then the door opens, and in walks a young woman clutching her son's hand. He can't be older than 6, but he walks beside her with a seriousness far beyond his years. His small eyes scan the room like he's stepping into a movie scene. The clerk announces the case number.
The woman takes a deep breath. Judge Caprio smiles gently, noticing the boy. "Good morning. And who's this young man?" The boy stands up a little taller. "That's my mom, and I'm here to help her." The courtroom laughs softly. Caprio chuckles. "Ah, her attorney, I see. Well, young man, what's your name?" "Jacob," the boy replies, his voice clear and confident. "Jacob," Caprio says warmly. "I'm glad you're here. Your mom has a few tickets. Looks like parking violations and one for speeding. Do you think your mom's guilty or not guilty?" The boy hesitates, squints his eyes, and then blurts out, "Well, maybe just a little guilty." The room erupts in laughter. Even his mother can't help but smile through her nerves. Caprio laughs too, holding his chest. "I appreciate your honesty, Counselor Jacob. You're doing great." But then, as the laughter fades, Caprio leans forward. "Tell me, why was Mom in such a hurry that day?" The boy looks up at his mother. She glances down, unsure. Then, softly, he says, "We were late because Mommy had to work 2 jobs. She didn't sleep much. She was tired." The tone of the room shifts in an instant. Caprio's face fades into quiet concern. "2 jobs?" he asks. The mother nods. "Yes, Your Honor. I clean offices during the day and work at a diner at night. Sometimes I get off after midnight. It's hard to keep up. I missed a few payments, and I was trying to get Jacob to school that morning." Her voice trembled slightly. "I know I made a mistake. I didn't want him to be late again." The judge studies her for a moment. Then, looking back at the boy, he says, "Jacob, do you help your mom at home?" The boy nods proudly. "I make her coffee. She says it's not very good, but she drinks it anyway." The courtroom chuckles again, but this time the laughter feels different, softer, protective. It's the sound of people realizing this isn't just another case. It's a glimpse into the quiet heroism that happens in ordinary homes. Caprio smiles faintly. "You're a good son, Jacob. Your mom is lucky to have you." The boy tilts his head, puzzled. "No, Your Honor. I'm lucky to have her." That single line freezes everyone. Even Caprio leans back, visibly moved. There's a pause, a long, reverent silence before he speaks again. "Jacob, I think you might be the youngest lawyer I've ever met, but I think you've already won this case." The boy grins, unsure what that means. But the mother suddenly starts to cry. Tears slide down her cheeks, not from fear, but from release. Caprio leans forward kindly. "Ma'am, I know how hard it is to raise a child and work multiple jobs. You're doing the best you can, and that's something this court respects. I'm dismissing the fines, all of them." She covers her face, sobbing, "Thank you, Judge. Thank you so much." Caprio looks at Jacob. "Jacob, I think your mom deserves a round of applause for everything she does." The courtroom joins in, clapping softly as Jacob turns toward his mother, hugging her waist tightly. Then Caprio adds, "And Jacob, you're doing something even more important. You're reminding all of us that love and loyalty matter more than mistakes. Never lose that." The boy nods solemnly. "I won't, sir." As they leave the courtroom, Caprio watches them go with a faint smile. Then he looks toward the camera, his voice quiet but full of weight. "You see," he says, "sometimes the best defense in the world isn't made of laws or logic. It's made of love."
He walks in quietly, his posture straight, his steps measured, his uniform jacket neatly pressed. Even before he speaks, there's something dignified about him, something that commands respect. The courtroom clerk reads his name, James Porter, charged with multiple parking violations and failure to appear in court. Judge Caprio studies the man for a moment. "Good morning, Mr. Porter," he says. "I see you've got quite a few tickets here. Why haven't they been paid?"
The man hesitates, his voice low. "I don't really have an excuse, Your Honor." Caprio tilts his head. "No excuse, huh? Well, that's rare honesty these days." A small chuckle ripples through the courtroom, but the man doesn't smile. His eyes remain distant, somewhere far away. Caprio notices immediately. "Mr. Porter," he says gently, "you a veteran?" The man nods. "Yes, sir. United States Army. Served for 22 years. "Thank you for your service," Caprio says sincerely. "Where were you stationed?" "Afghanistan, Iraq, a few other places," he says, voice steady but tired. "I retired 10 years ago." Caprio flips through the papers again. "Well, according to this, you've got fines going back several months. Were you aware of them?" The man swallows hard. "Yes, sir, I was. I just couldn't deal with it." The room grows still. Caprio lowers his pen. "Couldn't deal with it? Tell me what you mean." "After I came home, things got difficult. I lost my wife 3 years ago. Cancer. My son moved out after that. I tried to keep things together, but it's hard, sir. I live alone now. I'm on disability. Some days I barely leave the house." His words come slower now, breaking under their own weight. "These tickets, they piled up when I stopped going out. The car sat on the street. I just didn't have the energy to move it anymore." Caprio's eyes soften. "Mr. Porter, you've been through hell and back. You served this country, sacrificed years of your life, and now you're standing here apologizing for parking tickets." The veteran tries to laugh, but it catches in his throat. "I guess so, sir." Caprio leans forward. "You know, I've met a lot of people in this courtroom, but not many with your kind of courage. You've already done more for this country than most of us ever will. And yet here you are, still trying to do the right thing." The veteran lowers his head, quietly wiping his eyes. "So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to fine you. I'm not going to charge you. I'm going to thank you. Every violation here is dismissed." "You don't have to do that, Judge. I can pay, just give me time." Caprio shakes his head. "You've already paid, Mr. Porter. You paid it on foreign soil. You've paid more than enough." The veteran looks up, eyes red. "Thank you, sir," he whispers. "No one said that to me in a long time. Go home today. Take a walk. Visit a friend. Do something that reminds you you're still part of this world. You've earned peace. Don't let guilt take that from you." And as he leaves, Caprio adds, "Sometimes the bravest thing a soldier can do is let someone else stand guard for him." He enters the courtroom slowly, leaning on a cane, his steps careful. His coat hangs loosely from his shoulders, his cap pulled low. The clerk reads, "Mr. Antonio Sarno, age 96, charged with speeding in a school zone." 96, Caprio repeats. "Sir, you don't look a day over 95. The courtroom chuckles, but the man only smiles faintly. "Can you tell me why you were driving that fast?" "I was taking my wife to her doctor's appointment," he says softly. "She's very sick. She has cancer." Caprio's face falls. "Is she doing okay now?" He lowers his gaze. "No, sir. She's gone now." "I wasn't trying to break the law," he continues, voice trembling. "I just wanted to keep my promise. I promised her I'd never let her go to an appointment alone. Ever. She hated hospitals. I told her, no matter what, I'd be by her side. That day, I was late. I knew I was speeding, but I couldn't let her wait." "How long were you married?" Caprio asks. 72 years. She was my first love, and my last." Caprio nods slowly. That's not just devotion. That's a lifetime of loyalty. The old man smiles faintly. She used to say, I drove too slow. Maybe she was right for once. Caprio closes the file. You came here today with honesty and with love. There's no fine in the world that can measure that. The city of Providence can afford to forgive one speeding ticket in honor of 72 years of love. As the old man wipes his tears, the judge adds gently, You didn't just explain, you reminded us what love really looks like. And as the old man leaves, the entire courtroom knows they've witnessed something sacred, love that outlived even time itself. As the years passed and the cameras kept rolling, something extraordinary began to happen. What started as a small local courtroom show became a global mirror of the human spirit. And at the center of it all stood Judge Frank Caprio, a man who redefined what justice could look like. He showed us that behind every ticket, every violation, there is a story, a mother, a child, a soldier, a husband, each one different, yet united by one truth. People are fighting battles we cannot see. He listened not with judgment, but with understanding. He believed that the courtroom should not be a place of fear, but of fairness. Not just a hall of justice, but a space for grace. Millions cried with him, laughed with him, and saw themselves in the people before him. Because in his words, we all stumble. But the question is, when we do, will someone be there to lift us up? That question became his legacy. He didn't just serve the law. He served people. And in doing so, he reminded the world that compassion isn't weakness. It's the purest form of strength. Every story you've heard tonight, every tear, every smile, every act of grace comes down to one truth. Compassion changes everything. When Judge Caprio sat behind that bench, he wasn't looking at defendants. He was looking at human beings. A mother fighting for her child, a boy defending his mom, a veteran carrying invisible pain, an old man keeping one last promise. Each story proved that justice without compassion is hollow. So friends, think about this. How many people around you are quietly fighting their own unseen wars? How many just need someone to listen, to forgive, to care? Judge Caprio showed us that mercy can be mightier than punishment, that understanding a person's pain can sometimes bring more healing than enforcing a law. And maybe that's why his courtroom touched the world. Because empathy, once given, spreads endlessly. If one of these stories touched your heart, share it, not for fame or views, but because someone out there might need hope tonight. Tell us in the comments which story stayed with you the most and why. Because these aren't just stories about them, they're stories about us. And remember, Judge Caprio's legacy isn't finished. As long as someone chooses kindness over judgment, his spirit lives on. But stay with us, because in the next episode, we'll reveal a case so unexpected, so deeply human, that even Judge Caprio himself was left speechless. A story of heartbreak, redemption, and one final act of forgiveness that shook the courtroom. You won't want to miss it. A single decision can ripple through countless lives. That's what Judge Caprio proved time after time, case after case.
What started as routine hearings became moments of truth, moments where humanity stood taller than the law itself. Think of the single mother whose tears told a story no paperwork ever could, the boy whose honesty pierced the room and reminded everyone of innocence in its purest